My team, Cannondale-Garmin, chooses to be part of the MPCC. It's a voluntary organization, and I believe in what it stands for. I believe in holding ourselves to that standard, and you know, to me, the idea behind it is to really ensure the rider's health, is to make sure that you're not just doing anything you need to do to be able to go to a bike race, that you know, you're making sure you're healthy, you're fit, okay, you're fit to race, you can go to a bike race. If one day the UCI and WADA adopt the rules currently used by the MPCC, then that's a very clear, you know, that's very cut and dry. Everybody has to follow those rules. But as long as it's a voluntary organization, you know, I don't think it's any issue, and I don't judge the teams that aren't part of it or the riders who ride for teams who aren't part of it. And I definitely don't feel that I personally lose out on anything due to, you know, 6 or 7 World Tour teams not being a part of it. I mean, that's maybe ideally, maybe down the road in a few years or whenever the UCI or WADA chooses to look at the rules used by the MPCC and maybe model their own rules a little closer to that for cycling. But until that point, everybody, as long as everybody abides by what the WADA rules are, then that's enough for me. I always choose to believe the best of people, of teams, of everyone. That's what Jonathan Vaughters started the team with the idea of, and you know, being in part of the MPCC is a part of that, you know, kind of sticking to those ideals. I think, you know, I think everybody who's part of the MPCC would basically like to see the rules that the MPCC abides by maybe enforced by WADA or the UCI, and you know, it's kind of a commitment to holding your own team to a higher standard than is required by the strict rules. So, you know, I absolutely think it's a good thing. So I think that's the whole reason behind the MPCC. I mean, is to show to the public. I mean, it's to show to each other, but it's really to show to the public that they are watching a clean sport, that we are competing in a clean sport, that they can believe the performances they're seeing. And you know, I think it also hopefully shows the public that our commitment, you know, the teams that are part of the MPCC and are holding themselves to an even higher standard voluntarily than is required by the WADA or UCI anti-doping code, I hope they see that as a commitment towards anti-doping. It depends. It 100% depends on who you ask. You know, there are fans who love the sport and who see the new generation of, you know, obviously the American fans see the new generation of American cyclists, myself, other younger Americans on my team like Alex Howes, Nate Brown, you have Taylor Phinney, TJ Van Gardner. They see these results and they believe in them, and they believe in us as riders. And then there are fans who absolutely believe that the entire sport is dirty. But I don't really consider those people fans. I think those are people who are bitter or critical for whatever reason. There's a difference between being jaded by the past, being jaded by believing in Lance Armstrong and believing that whole story, and you know, a lot of people were inspired by it, and then finding out that that was all a lie, that wasn't the truth. But the same thing happened to me and to TJ and to Taylor with that whole story. We were younger, we were following it before we knew anything about the past of cycling. We all, I mean, that was, you know, Lance was even your idol at times coming up in cycling. So we had the same experience as the American fans.